The D in Dutch football stands for many things. Dominance. The Netherlands have produced some of the most imposing footballers the world has ever seen. Disappointment. With all that talent, they have very few international titles to show for it. And difficult. Well, two of them anyway. One almost has license to be, considering he's been named the best European footballer ever. The other thinks he's the best European footballer and is constantly out to prove it. It's Johan Cruyff and Arjen Robben. It was then Tottenham coach Martin Jol who first declared in 2004 that Arjen Robben was the best player to come out of Holland since Johan Cruyff. While the rest of the football world has since forgotten about the comparison, Robben hasn't. His arrogance, a trait which has not endeared him to some of his coaches, teammates and supporters. Cruyff himself saw something special in his fellow countrymen while watching him perform at Groningen. However, he did challenge him to become a more complete player, a total footballer like Cruyff. After a formidable stint at PSV, Robben was sold to Chelsea as a 20-year-old. Arriving at Stamford Bridge with a pair of fragile hamstrings, he broke his foot in a pre-season match and was later diagnosed with testicular cancer. Both were resolved, but frequent injuries since have earned him the label the Man of Glass. He won 2 Premier League titles in his 3 seasons with the Blues, but also developed a reputation as a chronic diver, and Jose Mourinho would offload him to Real Madrid. After 2 solid seasons at the Bernabeu, he moved to Bayern Munich in 2009. And although he wasn't happy with the transfer, he's ultimately played his finest football with the German powerhouse. He made up for 2 Champions League final losses in 2010 and 2012 by netting an 89th-minute winner against Borussia Dortmund in the 2013 final. He was named Man of the Match and signaled to the world that he had finally arrived, albeit not without a few punches along the way. In the 2012 semi-final against Real Madrid, he had an on-field altercation with teammate Frank Ribéry and continued to vehemently argue his point all the way to the dressing room. The verbal attack was greeted with a Ribéry left hook, with teammates having to separate them. A year earlier, he also fought Thomas Müller on the pitch after he felt the forward disrespected him. But as Johan Cruyff would demonstrate, respect is ultimately earned with results, and his results speak for themselves. El Salvador, or the Saviour, would score 291 goals in 520 official league matches, over a career that saw him play in Holland, Spain and the US. He won 10 national championships, 8 with Ajax, and was the poster boy for total football, the mesmerizing style of swarming opposing players with athleticism and skill. Considered a visionary presence on the field, Cruyff's style of play, implemented as a manager, became known as tiki-taka in Barcelona and was adopted by the championship-winning Spanish national team of the modern era. Stubborn stints in management positions at Ajax and even Guadalajara were stunted by arguments. Presidents struggled to understand him, and they weren't alone. Johan Cruyff scored 33 goals in 48 matches with the international team and confused opponents with his perfect execution of total football. But his Orange experience falls in line with the difficulties the team has had to translate talent to success. A member of the 1974 World Cup team, which finished second, Cruyff would miss the 1978 edition. Originally attributed to political reasons, he would reveal 20 years later that he and his family were victims of a kidnap attempt in Barcelona a year prior, and the shock of it all caused him to retire from international competition. Arjen Robben was a runner-up himself at South Africa in 2010. Things were rocky leading to the tournament, with many unnamed players accusing Robben of fracturing the fragile Dutch dressing room heading into the World Cup. Ultimately, Robin knows the only way the nation will see him as their ultimate leader is by leading them to World Cup glory. Johan Cruyff has a unique way of expressing himself. His homeland has called his insights Cruyffians. His most famous quotes and experimental prose have been used in managerial studies, his brain clearly processing the football world as brilliantly as he sees himself. He's a philanthropist, an educator, and even a singer, recording a top 30 single in 1969. But despite his status as a Dutch legend, Cruyff calls Barcelona home. His son and ex-footballer Jordi was named after the patron saint of Catalonia, and Johan even held the post of manager of the Catalonian national team. True to his international fame, he has a planetoid named after him, which can be seen between Mars and Jupiter, an area many football fans claim he played in. Contrary to his difficult football persona, Arjen Robben has had a more simplistic private life, marrying high school sweetheart Bernardine in 2007. Together, they have 3 children. The family were on hand when Robben scored the game-winning 2013 Champions League goal. But it will truly take something stratospheric for any Dutch athlete to overtake the cultural phenomenon that is Johan Cruyff.